Good evening, and 5:30, here we are, right on time. Thank you for attending us. This is the Tahoe Truckee Unified School District Board meeting of April 1st, and it snowed, just to be clear. The board did meet in closed session with no reportable action. Call to order public comment on, okay, here we are. Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. McKechnie. Would you please would you please lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance, please, sir?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Who's just that red shirt, front seat? I don't know.
Sit in front, this is what happens.
Sit in front, this is what happens. Perfect, let me do this. Okay, 6.0, are there any changes to the presented agenda, Superintendent Kramer?
No changes from staff.
Perfect, any changes from us? Seeing none, would anyone care to make a motion to approve the April 1st agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that was quick. Public comment, 7.0. I have nothing for yellow comments here. If there are any comments that are not associated with any items, now is your time for 3 minutes. Seeing none, I will close public comment and move to student representative reports, 8.0. We will start North Tahoe High School. Randy and Kiara. Did I say it right? I got the Randy part.
All right, perfect. Oh, sorry. I'm Randy Martinez.
And I'm Kenya Alani.
Yeah, so good afternoon, y'all. We are really excited to share that our school was recognized as California's Distinguished School, which is a huge accomplishment and shows how hard students and staff have been working. We also had our Air Band and Spirit Week, which went really well and brought a lot of energy to campus. It was great seeing so many people get involved. And we also had a hip-hop assembly with Drew Peterson for Hope Week. We focused on mental health. Along that, there were a lot of activities like friendship bracelets, shred your stress, and decorating rocks, and a positive coffee sleeves, and all to help spread positivity around campus. Our school musical is coming up soon, so make sure to come out.
When is that musical?
To be honest, I'm not
never
really
mind.
sure. Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay. Tomorrow night is conference night, along with a Kermesse fundraiser for Project Grad, so we encourage people to come out. Link Crew Freshman Survivor is happening on April 8th, and applications are open for next year's Link Crew and leadership positions. Last week, our culinary classes visited TMCC, and our engineering students went on the Palisades Work Tour. Both were very informative and gave students a look into future careers. Coming up, we have a blood drive on April 21st, and graduation speeches are due April 22nd. There's also a grid transcript parent meeting on April 23rd. We'll also have a Latinx assembly on April 27th and a Cinco de Mayo Kermesse fundraiser. Engineering students will be going to UNR's Innovation Day, and prom tickets are on sale now throughout April only, so don't wait to buy them. Finally, May is testing month with AP test and CASP testing, so make sure you're prepared. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was awesome. We're going to give Coldstream Alternative and Sierra High a break since they're going to come right back up and share with us. Truckee High, Lydia and Brooke, are you here? Perfect, lovely.
Hi, my name is Lydia Inez. I am a freshman at Truckee High School, and this is my first year doing leadership. I am also part of Model United Nations.
Hi, my name is Brooke or Brooklyn. I'm a freshman at Tahoe Truckee High. First year of leadership. I also do track and photography club at the high school.
Alrighty, ASB elections. ASB elections are starting now, and people are campaigning around the school. ASB election timeline includes 1, applications on wall outside of West Wing 233 for running due by 3/25 or March 25th, which is already passed. Campaign season is between March 25th and April 8th. So we're currently in campaign season. Voting is on April 8th in your student success class via Google form, and the top 4 will be notified on April 9th. Finally, the election committee votes for ASB president, vice president, etc. of the week of April 20th to 24th.
If you haven't heard, prom season is now upon us, and it is officially being advertised. The theme will be Night Under the Stars at the North Star Pavilion on May 30th. It is going to be catered by Rubicon, and we are also finalizing the details on getting Euro snack waffles to be donated for the students. This is the second week that prom tickets have been sold, and prices are going up weekly, and depending if you have an ASB card or not, they will be cheaper. Leadership upperclassmen are currently working very hard to finalize all the details and gather materials to set up for prom.
Midterms are Thursday and Friday of this week. They are minimum days, and Thursday is the first and second period midterms. Friday is the third and fourth period midterms. The new quarter starts next week. The College Board has opened registration for 11th graders to take the SAT on April 7th, and scholarship applications were due Tuesday, March 31st, and that includes TTCF and boosters.
Truckee L and the high school are currently working in collaboration, specifically the leadership team. I forgot that. Sorry. I forgot one line. This next topic is going to be about the spring sports. We have swim team, baseball, softball, golf, and track all in session right now. I believe baseball, softball, swim team, I'm not sure about golf yet, and track have all had meets or games. And Truckee L and Truckee High leadership have been working together to create fun events for the 5th graders and below. One of our things is currently going to be going over there and going to Lost and Found and make some videos about some of the missing items. That video is going to be posted so then parents can see it and see if they recognize any of the clothing. On April 20th and 21st, the leadership students are going to be helping out at the elementary school by helping with stations for a SWEP science fair. And that is it from me for now.
Broman, the seniors won, which means a back-to-back win for the seniors, as they also won Powder Puff. And the senior fashion show went very well. There was very good attendance. The senior fashion show was a fundraiser for the senior class for their Sober Grad Night. And feel free to donate at the Truckee High PTO Boosters website. And finally, Riley Killen is a published author. Truckee High School is publishing a student-led literary magazine, The Truckee Reverie, which will be in print after spring break. The Truckee Reverie publishes original student poems, short stories, art, and more. Get your copy of the 2026 spring edition in the library after spring break. Thank you.
Well done. I will say, freshmen on the podium, that is wonderful. That was really good. Moving on to 9.0, Superintendent Kramer.
And for this item, I'm honored to invite up our Principal of Alternative Programs, Mr. Jeff Santos.
Looking to see if any more students are there. All right, cool. Good evening, Superintendent Kramer, members of the board, and members of cabinet. My name is Jeff Santos, as you already heard, but it is an honor and a privilege to be the principal of our alternative programs with the district, including Sierra High School, our continuation high school independent study program, Coldstream Alternative, and Truckee River program. Tonight's showcase, we would like to dedicate this time solely to our CTE forestry class, it's taught by Miss Herrera, and her students have put together a Wolf Project documentary. It's taken all year to do this, with the intended final product is going to the International Film Festival in Montana in a few weeks to show this documentary. Before I have Miss Herrera come on up, I do want to recognize the hard work the amount of time and effort put into this documentary by Ms. Herrera and her students, as well as our donors who are, some of are in the room tonight as well, to make this project happen, as well as support from the board, Superintendent Kramer and Cabinet as well. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Ms. Herrera to come on up and present our CTE Forestry Wolf Project documentary tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Santos, and good afternoon, Superintendent Kramer, the board and cabinet. I am Ms. Herrera, the science and CTE teacher for Sierra High School, and I'm really honored to be here with some of our students who are a part of the class to present to you today. So as Mr. Santos said, I do want to start with saying a huge thank you to our community. I was absolutely blown away by how much support we got on this very ambitious program. Just started, this is our first year running the course. And then to also say, hey, Mr. Santos, can we also make a documentary? And then to call on the community to say, hey, we're looking for funding to take students to Montana. I feel like I kept coming back asking for more. And every single time, the students and I were told yes. So thank you so much to our sponsors and our donors. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. And the students are beyond excited to go on this once-in-a-lifetime educational trip. And then to those that participated in the film and allowed us to interview you, again, this project would not be possible without you either. So a little bit of overview of the documentary. The main goal here was really to kind of focus on how do we get students out in the field? How do we connect them with ecology, with forestry, with our local environment? And this project kind of started to build on its own. We were approached with a project partner, Mr. Nick Ellers. He has done these school projects multiple times throughout a couple of different states where he has moved and lived. And so he approached us with this idea. I was really excited because I saw the potential that it had, especially with our unique population at Sierra High School. So with him and his connections to the CDFW, to biologists, to ecologists, he was really able to help us make connections that we needed. And so this was kind of like our end product of what are we learning in class and how can we showcase this to the community, but also through a lens of like, what's going on in our area? What's new? And how does this impact everything else that's connected to it? So wolves have moved back in. They're in the Sierra Valley. Some of us might know people who are directly affected by this. We've all heard many stories, positive and negative. And so our goal was really to take a non-biased approach and to look into that problem or this gift, it's kind of both, and see what we can learn from it. And that's exactly what this was, is a learning process. So a quick overview. The main goal is, of course, to help raise awareness about what's happening in the Sierra Valley and in our area. And with our class being forest and natural resources, we really wanted to focus on the ecology. So how do wolves tie back into other prey and predator in our area? How does that then have this domino effect onto other natural resources in our area? And so we really wanted to hone in on specifically our area, not necessarily what's happening in Oregon or Northern California or Southern California. And then also to provide our students with real world and 21st century CTE skills, really learning by doing, so getting out into the field. They did everything. I helped take down some barriers, but they were really the ones calling people, asking for interviews. They were the ones creating interview questions. They did the interviewing. They scheduled the interviews. They scheduled field work days where we went out to ranches and we walked around and we learned about the careers that these people held. So really want to put it back on them. Okay, so with the development, our main purpose was like, why does this matter? So when we started this project, I wanted to keep bringing it back to the students with questions like, well, why do we care if there are wolves? What is this going to tell us? Where is this going to lead us to? Who's being impacted positively and negatively, always staying unbiased and trying to stay scientific with it. And then, like, what do we need in order to create a film, a 15-minute film? What do you need to do that? So constantly turning it around on them and having them get into these deep discussions that sometimes took a day and sometimes felt like it took weeks, but we ended up getting there. The end product, we ended up with a 17-minute short film where students did showcase that at Grass Valley. They showed the trailer, held a panel, and then in Montana, they'll show the full 15 minutes. And then bringing it back to CTE with the pathways. So really focusing on what durable skills did they gain from this: editing, communication, interviewing, phone calls, emails, scheduling, those basic life skills that I feel like we skip over a lot of times now. Looking at jobs and careers, they interviewed ecologists, ranchers, biologists, people that create different types of documentaries, so technology really touched on a lot more careers than we even anticipated. And then trying to think about traveling and exploring and building this understanding of curiosity and where does this then lead us, right? So even having some of the students help plan our Montana trip. What goes into that? How much does it cost? How do we plan trips these days? So then we have some outcomes and some of our goals. And it's just really inspiring to see how students can be given kind of an empty vessel of a project of, here's my idea of an end goal, what can you do with it, and how much they run with that, and how creative that they can get inside the classroom, and how really excited they get. So the project started in August, first thing, or September when school started, and ran as a conjunction project within our class. And then second semester, we transitioned it to be like an after-school project. And the amount of students that still showed up after school wanting to edit, or thinking of somebody new to interview, or having this idea of, can I make music myself? Right? Or can I make the cover photo or the cover poster for what's going to be hung up at the theater? Was really, really neat to see how it just naturally kind of rolled into the new project in our second semester. And then, let's see, we have our upcoming film festivals and their Q&A panels. And then Good Morning Truckee will also be showing the full 15-minute film. April 21st, I think, 22nd, I think it's a Tuesday after spring break. So I welcome everybody to also attend that. The 21st, thank you, Amber. So we look forward to that. But I think enough of me talking. I do want you to hear from the students and their experiences. So I'd like to bring up 3 of our students, Grayson, Rowan, and Chris.
All right. My name's Rowan Larson. I'm a junior at Sierra High School, and this is my first time having any experience with like editing or filmmaking or even getting to go out on ranches and stuff, so it was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like a really cool opportunity. First of all, I learned like a lot of skills. Like I had never known how to edit like anything, stuff like that. I also met like a lot of like people who kind of just like, I learned a lot about like where we live. Like I met all the people who like make the food that we eat and things like that, and it introduced me to a lot of like careers and interesting people that I had never like, met.
It was cool to like learn how to use a camera for the first time, learn how to edit. It was rough at first, but it got better throughout time, and yeah, it was fun. It was teamwork, always, yeah.
I definitely felt like we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants, because like Ms. Herrera said, she kind of had like she had the idea for what she wanted and an end goal, and she just kind of gave it to us, and then it was up to us to, call the people, make all the meetings and stuff. So it was, like Ms. Herrera said again, a really good opportunity for kind of just feeling out a lot of different jobs and different skills and stuff, like being grammatically correct when trying to talk to people and all that stuff. Which I'm not doing right now, but it was really also really awesome to be able to go out onto ranches. I've never really had that much of a hands-on experience in any school, you know, coming through elementary school and middle school and into high school, even at Truckee High School. So it was really awesome first opportunity to get coming over to Sierra High School, and I think it was one of the most educational and educational classes I've ever had.
Also, like, just like the whole entire like filmmaking community and like documentaries and stuff. I let like Ken, the guy who helped us edit, like learn how to edit and things like that. Like he had like a lot of like interesting projects he was working on, and interesting like how do you say it, perspectives on things like that, and how we should like really like direct and learn about what actually like goes on. You know, not being biased as well. Trying to like keep it like.
I don't know what else to say. Yeah, with Nick, he helped us a lot, push us forward when we didn't want to. He when we were tired sometimes of editing, he told us to keep going. The outcome will be worth it, and I think it was worth it. Yeah.
So we do want to play the teaser for you, not the full film, but just the teaser. So whenever you're ready.
It's been 100 years since these wolves were last here in the state, and they're returning to a different California than what was here 100 years ago.
So they're here to stay. They're gonna migrate all over California.
The pack that is in Sierra Valley is called Bayam Seo, and Bayam Seo has killed a crazy amount of cattle. They've killed about 71 cows this year, which is about twice as many as all of the 1,000 wolves in the state of Montana in 2024.
So over the course of this summer, we have never had depredations like this before. Sierra Valley has had incredible numbers.
When we saw that the wolves were coming into Sierra Valley and they were starting to kill a lot of cattle, we made the decision at that point to not take our cows out there. You know, that's one of the things that we love about ranching, is being able to be in the natural environment and see the wildlife. Obviously, the wolves are a great challenge. But everything else, you know, we really do love being a part of it and seeing it and providing habitat for the wildlife. They were beginning to teach the pups to kill cattle, and so they were finding a lot of calves, like newborn calves, that were just bit on the back, the top of the back.
Wolves are pretty predictable. They kill large mammals to eat them, right? And so we know that they're going to do that. We know that they're going to look for the most opportune ones. And, you know, wolves are not the best hunters. Like, compared to the carnivore world.
They're only feeding on cattle instead of what their natural food source is, with elk, deer, antelope. There's got to be a balance somewhere.
This is a healthy ecosystem, so we do have other top predators. There are black bears here, there are mountain lions. Those are probably the main two predators on cattle in this area. Every now and then there is predation pressure from them. The difference with those species are that in California you can get a depredation permit. So if you have one individual that's causing a lot of issues and you can prove that, you can get a permit and that animal can be lethally removed. The problem with the wolves were they are federally and state protected, despite knowing that these three individuals were definitely causing a lot of mortality. There was no way to lethally remove these individuals.
Our concern is twofold. You know, one, the genetics and being, you know, raised by the Biosam, who were so habituated to cattle, that our concern is as they mature, if they're not captured and they do make it through the winter time, then, you know, the likelihood of them continuing, you know, to be habituated on cattle is pretty high.
There's these two different spheres that are interacting. You know, it's like, what are humans doing with their cattle, and what are wolves doing, and what's happening in like the wolf universe. So if deer populations are really low, well, we know that wolves are going to look for their prey somewhere. They're not just going to, you know, give up and die. And then where are the cattle on the landscape? Are they vulnerable? And so I think in Sierra Valley, you know, it seems like there's a little bit of a collision of these two spheres. but we don't totally understand why it's been so bad there. And that's something I think that a lot of people are interested in answering to make sure it doesn't happen again, but we don't know yet.
All right, so again, I cannot thank our supporters enough, those who donated to help support students get to Montana, our students to help get them to Grass Valley, to just support this project in Sierra High School. I cannot thank you enough. And then to all those who participated, thank you for this opportunity to do such a cool project with the students.
That was lovely. Thank you so much. The teaser, it's unfair, but that's great. Does any board have, or either of you have any comments?
I just want to recognize what a unique project this is, that not a lot of students, even at the college level, would have an opportunity to do something like this, and to have it in your own community adjacent is pretty remarkable. I have a coworker who lives out in Sierra Valley who's the one that has Yak. I don't know if you sort of talked, and they've struggled because she's trained, in environmental sciences and totally understands the biology side of it, but then she's also a rancher when she's not working. And so for her, it's sort of this like internal conflict of, walking outside and seeing those two worlds collide. And so to have, students kind of capture all of that in a film and then be able to like even take it beyond our school district to others to experience is just remarkable. So I think you guys are going to keep learning a lot more as you get through this process and end up in Montana, but good job.
I just want to say I'm completely blown away. Like, if I had the opportunity to do something like this in high school, I think, things would be different in the world. But, the powerful medium of film and putting it into the hands of our youth, I think is just brilliant. Because not only do our youth have a lot to say, adults need to listen. And I really feel like, you guys are on your path to do great things. The leadership to be able to put tools of empowerment into the hands of young people is just so monumental and just so profoundly important. Once you know how to edit a film and go out and interview people and capture the essence of things that people would otherwise not know anything about, you have a lot of power in your hands. And so more power to you. Please keep producing. I hope everything goes fantastic up in Montana. I'm sure it will. Oh, there was my East Coast accent coming out for a second there. But you guys, just so impressive. I know how hard it is to make something that's 17 minutes long. You're talking hundreds and hundreds of hours. And most people don't really appreciate that. But congratulations. I feel like I learned something that I did not know anything about. And I've heard, things here and there about the wolves coming back and, is it bad? Is it good? How do I form an opinion? But now I feel, and I can't wait to watch the entire film. Now I'm like, oh yeah, I really want to check that out. And you also shared with me a bunch of information that I did not know about how our ranchers are being impacted out in the Sierra Valley, so close to us, and how devastating the impact has been. So, I think you should feel really good and really accomplished about how your hard work is paying off.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm a little upset that I'm not able to go to Montana with you. Just throwing that out, I have my cowboy boots. I hope you all have boots. Yeah, we'll find some boots for you. You need to have boots. I'm really, really excited about that. It's probably like my favorite thing in the whole wide world, to go on a field trip to Montana with you. Again, community support is huge, but again, and I think what Trustee Levack was just saying, that when you look at who we can throw money at, like, I'd rather throw money at this than anything else. And so this is, well-deserved. But just listening to you speak too, you guys it's a new thing to get up and have to speak and then have to ask somebody of, stature or, older person of wisdom. You're like, wow, I need your help. Or So that's, I mean, there's a lot of great things that happen in all that. Your schooling, I think you said it was the best education you've had, and that's something that we'll give Mr. Santos a couple pats on his back for creating this environment. But then, yeah, that's you hire good people to make you look good. You surround yourself with good people. But really, really, really fun. This is what makes Tahoe Truckee so wicked cool, is that you have all these opportunities, and it's right here. And I was on a field trip today too, but went by the nothing against anybody else, but Tahoe Expeditionary, and I'm like, ours is an expeditionary academy just for us. You know, like, so we were able to do so much, and we're all right here. So hats off to you guys. I'm excited. It's going to be an awesome, awesome showing up there, and, you know, just really can't wait to see where you guys go with it. There's lots and lots and lots of things that are in there, and you did a fantastic job.
They did great.
That was great.
Yeah.
Mr. Ayer, would you mind going back to the slide, the second one where it lists, so as was mentioned, there's been incredible community support, particularly to make sure the kids everyone that wanted to could go to Montana for the film festival. I mean, what an amazing experience. So what I'm hoping is that our Board of Trustees and all of our students and Sierra High representatives and our donors here tonight would come up front so we can get a group photo and really thank you. So if you are one of the donors and you're comfortable, would you mind standing up so we could give you a round of applause? And they're representing different organizations. So then, if you don't mind, we're all going to gather up front, and Amber's going to get a group photo. So if those of you that stood up want to come here, and Board, we'll just go around to the front real quick.
Thank you. Do you guys have t-shirts? Are you making t-shirts? Maybe not.
Mr. Santos. John.
Hi.
All right.
You know, there was a thing, I think, Mr. Santos, that there was a wolf, like I went to something in Reno, REI did a wolf something where they brought in wolves and they talked to us about not domesticating wolves or something, but it was an REI, that was like 10 years ago, but anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. Yeah, there you go. Too fun. All right, that was awesome. Hey, Jeff, is that mic thing on or off? Thank you very much. Moving to 10.0, Superintendent Kramer, Superintendent's Report.
Thank you. So our first part of the superintendent's report is our athletics standing board item. And as we talked about at the last meeting, that we don't really have a presentation because we haven't received new questions. But before we open it up for public comment, I do want to express my gratitude to our athletic directors and high school administrators. They hosted school-specific athletic parent information nights. Truckee High's was last night, and North Tahoe High School's was last Wednesday. And between the two, they had about 70
participants attend. And the general feedback was positive, that they found the information helpful, and they understand that this is still a ways off, and we're still navigating the situation. But thank you to the administrators and athletics directors, and for the families that showed up and participated. Otherwise, I'll send it back to you, Mrs. Driller, for public comment.
Thank you. Okay, so again, just to reiterate what we had spoken of last time, that we have a 3-minute timer for each individual, just to make it equitable for everybody. The 3 minutes is a hard 3 minutes. And you, yes, and we'll report up here. When the buzzer rings, please be respectful and wrap up rather quickly so that we can get through all of the public comments that are here. And at this point, I have Tristan Winters first, and then Ian Winters after him. Just that button so it turns green?
Yep. It's working. Good evening. My name is Tristan Windsor. I'm a sophomore at Truckee High School. I play football, basketball, and golf. I'm on the honor roll. I take AP classes, and I work weekends. There are roughly 800 high school student athletes in Truckee and North Tahoe. Many of us are honor roll students. Many of us are balancing sports, academics, jobs, leadership, and family responsibilities. And yet the CDE is treating us like we're invisible. The CDE, and everyone involved here, says this forced move to the CIF is about protecting students. But if it's protecting students is really the goal, then how can the CDE and this board make decisions on behalf that place our safety, education, sports, and futures at risk? What makes this harder to accept is that the Tahoe Truckee community is the only one being forced to move. Other California schools are still in the NIAA. They follow the same state laws, yet we are the ones being told to accept the Donner Pass dangers or move our families to Nevada now so we don't lose our senior year of eligibility. How can a remedy meant to protect future students be allowed to hurt hundreds of current students? This is all wrong, and the CDE knows this. But they don't care about us. They don't care about me. Do you? Shouldn't the board want to be 100% sure about all this before it agrees to harm 800 students, athletes, damaging numerous sports programs, and forcing us back into dangerous mountain conditions that we escaped from 40 years ago? For many student athletes like me and my sister, sports are not extra. Sports are what keeps us on track. They give us structure, discipline, motivation, and social connection. They are often the reason students push through hard classes, keep their grades up, and stay connected to their school and friends. So you're not just hurting our sports programs, discriminating against us, or endangering our lives. You are negatively affecting our education and overall social and mental health too. A forced move to the CIF doesn't just change what league we play in. This is a real tangible cost of tearing apart the teams we've spent years building. Our sports programs were not built in a single season. They were built through summer workouts, open gyms, long practices, and years of commitment. Many of us have been playing and building these teams together since we were 6 years old, and once that's gone, it's gone forever. And for those of us hoping to continue playing sports in college, the setback caused by forced move to the CIF are immeasurable. College recruiters will not see or understand the forced move, the unlawful CDE order. They will just see fewer games, interrupted seasons, exhausted students, slipping grades, and athletes whose high school careers no longer reflect their real capabilities. The harms caused by this move will not hurt the board or the CDE. They will hurt all of the student athletes. They will hurt me. We, the student athletes, have stood here meeting after meeting and told you exactly what's at stake. Please don't let this become another moment where students speak and the adults don't listen. We are all begging you to stand up and fight for us, to act before the damage becomes permanent. Thank you.
Thank you, Tristan. And after him is Scott Reiner. I did it.
Good evening. My name is Hien Winter, and this is my 6th time at this podium, urging this board to stand by its June 25th vote to remain in the NIAA. You just heard from my son. At the last meeting, you heard from my daughter. You've also heard from my husband, Truckee High's girls varsity basketball coach. So when I say this is real to my family, I mean that literally. And it's just as real to the other 800 student athletes in Truckee and North Tahoe whose safety, education, and futures are being put at risk by this absurd move to CIF. You know this is dangerous. You know what Donner Summit means in the winter. You know students will miss class time, be exhausted, lose recruiting and academic opportunities. And you know the competitive teams that they have spent years building will be shattered. The district made these very arguments to the CDE. So even if lawyers disagree about how to interpret state law, no one can honestly dispute the danger Donner Summit poses to our students and our sports programs. And what was the CDE's response? Not a real analysis, not even an attempt to address a single risk or argument this district put in front of them. Just, and I quote, "The request is denied." That was it. No assessment of one real consequence for the students who will have to live with this. And this board has accepted that one sentence denial as if it were a meaningful response. But a denial is not an answer. Silence is not analysis. And ignoring the risks does not make them disappear. What's even more disturbing is this board now seems to be doing to students what the CDE did to this district, moving forward without a complete and honest analysis of the real harms. If you had fully analyzed how ongoing federal proceedings and Supreme Court rulings could directly affect the CDE's order, and if you had fully analyzed the CDE's conflict of interest in pushing its own litigation position, and if you had fully analyzed whether forcing our students into CIF violates their equal protection, Title IX, ADA, and Section 504 rights, then you would already be in court challenging the CDE's unlawful order. Because if the CDE is wrong, and it is wrong, it will not be the CDE that pays the price. It will be our children. Simply saying the CDE made us do it does not relieve this board of its independent duty to protect these 800 student athletes. Once risks are known, on the record, and foreseeable, that's when your duty begins. You say this is about not leaving one student behind, but you are allowing the CDE to harm 800 student athletes through the very CIF consequences you yourselves warned about. In the face of undisputed facts, that is reckless. So is this really about protecting students or protecting yourselves? Go to court now. The district's 2-year delay strategy increases legal risk because it does not comply with the CDE's timetable. It risks forfeiting the district's right to challenge the CDE's unlawful order. And once TTUSD commits to CIF before this November's deadline, NIAA moves on without us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. And after Scott is Pat McKechnie.
I'm Scott Reiner. I have a daughter who's a sophomore at Truckee High, plays both soccer and basketball. I don't have a lot to say. I just really want to express my support for the Winters plan and express my gratitude. They deserve a tremendous thank you for all the effort that they put in on this. And we really appreciate it. And I hope that the board, reconsiders and considers following their plan, because right now, I feel like you're really failing our student athletes, and I think it's disgraceful. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. And after Pat is John Anderson.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Kramer, and the rest of you tonight. In full disclosure, I'm a TTUSD K-12 graduate, as are my kids, Ashley and Andy. We all played sports at all levels, K through 12, and I've coached boys and girls for nearly 20 years, ages 5 through 18. I currently work for the district, but have no role or unique knowledge with regards to the TTUSD sports plans. First, I'd like to thank the district leadership for fighting for all of our 4,000 students, including the smart kids and the special kids, the poor kids and the Martis Camp kids, the Tahoe Forest kids and the migrant kids, the athletes and the future librarians. And I'd like to thank the three of you who endured meetings during COVID and decided to come back and do it again. Thank you. Communities like Truckee and North Tahoe run on the backs of dedicated, underpaid public servants like yourself. Thank you. To those of you in the audience tonight, I agree with you that the best place for our athletes to play is in the NIAA based on the totality of the arguments. But I think we need to stick to the real issues. I'd like all the parents here today to hold up one finger. Now put a finger down if you've ever driven in a storm with icy roads with your child in the car. Only the parents that still have a finger up have standing with regards to this safety issue. Real issues do include changing the soccer seasons and how we're going to make up all of the postponed games. But sports is about overcoming, isn't it? It's about adapting, pushing forward. Let me give you 2 quick stories. When Andy was in 9th grade, he played Truckee High freshman baseball, but there were no freshman teams to play in the NIAA. So they played every single game except one over the hill in California. It was an exceptional season, even though they lost nearly every game. And in 2012, Andy was a junior on the team. Because of snow on the field, they didn't have any practices on their home field until the postseason. They won the state championship that year. It can be done. Lastly, sports builds character, especially when you lose. Less than 1% of our athletes will go pro. 7 or 8% will play college ball. But 100% of our kids will go pro in character. I'm really here tonight to ask anyone who is thinking of suing our volunteer public servants, really? In our small community where you can ski and fish and boat and hike and just hang out under the stars, you are going to sue our neighbors because you have to play sports in California? Or because you can't play basketball and soccer? You've got to be kidding me. It's in moments like these that reveals your character. I hope you played enough sports when you were a kid.
Thank you, Pat. And John Anderson.
Before I start, I want you to know that this comes from a place of compassion. I hope you can hear it with compassion as well, okay? My name's John Anderson. I'm a parent of 4. I'm also an emergency room doctor here locally, and I'm here today to talk about protecting our kids and protecting our community. One of my kids is in college, went through the district. My 3 other kids, one's a junior here at Truckee High. She plays soccer. My other 2 kids are both in 8th grade. They'll be freshmen at Truckee High next year. They play football, lacrosse, soccer, basketball, all the things. And their experiences in sport hold great meaning, and they instill great lessons and great value. I'm here asking you today to protect that opportunity. I'm going to speak on 2 areas that I see every day in my work in the emergency room. And these both essentially revolve around the safety of our children and our community. So you've heard many times about the safety of driving over Donner Pass. I would say I've never driven my kids around in a school bus over Donner Pass, to answer your question. My career is based on data. My practice is based on data. So I'm going to provide a little bit for that. The evidence demonstrates a clear pattern of increased crashes and injuries during snowy conditions. There's a large U.S. study, American Journal of Public Health, several others similar to it. They looked at about 1.5 million fatal crashes and about 14 million non-fatal injury crashes, and they found that snowy days had significantly more crashes. Incidence rate ratio was 1.23. What does that mean? In a typical time frame, there's about 100 crashes. With snow, it's about 123. Those 23 crashes will be a result of the current plan to move to California and drive over Donner Pass. Second, and I think actually more importantly, is the effect of sports participation and the ability to participate in sports on our teens' mental health. Your current decision will clearly negatively impact participation in sports, whether it's from not having the opportunity of all, like in soccer, or creating travel that is so long that students are unable to fulfill other obligations, like Tristan mentioned with academics. And frankly, this mental health component is something that I see every day, even more commonly than all the horrific car crashes. Every day when I go to work in the pediatric emergency department down at Renown, I see teens in mental health crisis, suicide attempts, at risk for suicide. These kids all need help, and we can do things to help them. Okay, again, let's look at the data. American Academy of Pediatrics, they've released different data, different reviews looking at mental health in sports. They looked at over 800,000 U.S. middle and high school students and found that sports participation reduced the risk of considering suicide by 19 to 29%, developing a suicide plan by 20 to 28%, and attempting suicide by 13 to 25%. compared to non-participants. You can see this is an important thing to be able to have the lessons learned from sports, as you mentioned, and the ability to participate in those sports. Lastly, is as a parent, I'm asking you to do what's right for our kids, but as a physician, I'm asking you, and it is my duty to protect patients both in and out of the hospital, and I'm asking you to do what's right for our community. I will undoubtedly hold each of you personally responsible for any harm that comes to a child that I see in the emergency department, whether it be from a horrific car crash or mental health crisis. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. John. That is all of my yellow slips. Are there any more yellow slips? And would anyone else care to add any comments on 10.1? Seeing none, we'll close 10.1 and move to 10.2. Superintendent Kramer.
Thank you, President Driller. So for our update, okay. Oh my goodness. I know. I don't know if it's snowing outside yet. The forecast for tonight, over 7,000 feet was 6 to 12 inches. However, we know that the town is still running 24-hour shifts. So we think we can say that our tentative last day of school is going to be Thursday, June 11th, because we've had 3 snow days so far. We don't think that we're going to have to do anything tomorrow, so we'll confirm this hopefully next week. But we know with these spring storms, a year ago on April 1st, we ended up having a snow day. So I don't want to underestimate tonight evening's snowfall, but we're really hoping we're just going to hold on the 3 days, snow days, and have our last day on June 11th. And then also just a request from our Excellence in Education Foundation. Every year they want to honor our teachers, our classified staff, and they recognize them at our Welcome Back Convocation in August. It's a great way to start the year. People receive a personal award, and then our teachers also receive a grant for classroom use. So it's a great way to celebrate the amazing team we have in TTUSD. So I encourage people to nominate different staff members. And then our strategic plan update. I'm going to have a quick update in each of these areas. We really strive to have our strategic plan be a living document. It's our collective commitment to our students to empower our students, educators, and staff. And so we have action steps in each of these areas that I want to give you a quick highlight and update on. And we heard about this a little bit already from our Truckee High team. So Palisades Tahoe hosted a work day, and students from Truckee High and North Tahoe High School attended, and they were able to see kind of the behind the scenes in engineering, in snow science, and during lunch they heard from the culinary team as well. And then they were able to do upper mountain lift maintenance and look at welding, and then also looking at the vehicle maintenance. So it was a great day. Our students were curious and excited, and we just really appreciate Palisades Tahoe for opening up their team, their expertise, and inviting the kids in and really getting a look at what these careers look like at Palisades Tahoe. And this is part of our academic achievement strategic focus area, where we want our students to have a chance to develop pathways of personal interest. And like we heard from the Sierra High students, getting to do the documentary opened up some possible career opportunities they hadn't considered before. So we appreciate our students and our CTE teachers and Palisades Tahoe for this opportunity. And then in support systems, as we've spoken about, we love to hear our students' point of view. And something that we've been working on is the board policy for artificial intelligence, which you'll hear the first read coming up in May. And Chief Technology Officer Hilton will provide an update and presentation for that. And once the board has time to consider that and recommend any changes and approve, the next step for us as a district is looking at it from a teaching and learning and student use lens. So at this time, all of the chat, like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, those tools are all blocked during the school day. However, we know students are experimenting and trying out AI at home. So the board, Trustee Hennessy, Chief Tech Officer Hilton, Assistant Superintendent Roderick, myself, and our technology TOSA, Mr. Arrington, we went to all 3 high schools to hear from our students what they're thinking about AI, how it's impacting them as a student right now, if it's impacting any career choices or what they're thinking about doing. And it was interesting. We had clear themes at all 3 high schools. So they really are requesting that we do thoughtful implementation, and we asked them to kind of give us feedback of what do you think about elementary using this, middle and high school, and all the high schools said they really feel like it should be limited high school. They feel like elementary and middle school is too foundational. They want the kids, really writing things out, learning those skills. And some high school students even went so far to say that they feel like maybe junior or senior year upperclassmen only, because they feel like in high school they still need to develop some basic foundational skills. And then they talked a lot about effective support of AI and how they see peers use it to just substitute the work. And it was very helpful to hear at times when that happens is the high stress time, when they feel overwhelmed, there's too much work. And as we heard from our students tonight about athletics, if they have a job and they're doing athletics and family obligations, it's a lot. And so when they're feeling pressure is when sometimes they admit, and we asked them to please be honest, that they turn to AI and asked it to complete the problem for them or draft the first version of the essay for them. And so what we talked a lot about is they'd rather see it as a support than substituting for original work, because they see the impact, things that they've tried, their impact on creativity and so on. I mean, our students, as you guys know, are amazing. They were so thoughtful. But we did talk about they want that upperclassman experience at least to help them prepare for future careers and see what it can do and understand how AI is a powerful tool in all kinds of different professional fields. And so they want to have that opportunity as well. And then all high schools, there was at least one student, if not numerous, that also are concerned about the environmental impact of AI, the water usage, and the energy consumption. So it was very valuable. We appreciate our 3 administrators for setting up those sessions with us. They gave us great feedback. And so then over the next school year, we'll start a committee that's looking at what implementation might look like for TeachUSD. And we're intentionally being very purposeful with this because it's important to get it right. Our students are important, and we want to make sure we roll this out in a thoughtful way. And then in our community connections area, one focus area is transition points. And we have had some parent orientations for our 5th graders going into 6th grade. March 26th was North Tahoe Schools orientation. And then Alder Creeks is tomorrow night at 5:30. And then the second part of that is during the school day, the 5th graders have a field trip to the middle school that they're going to attend. So that's coming up this Friday for North Tahoe School. The kids that are going to go there will get to visit during the school day. And then Alder Creeks is on May 29th. So we're excited about the end of the year coming, and people are starting to think about next year. And we just appreciate our teams putting together these thoughtful information opportunities for kids and parents at these transition points. And that is my update tonight.
Thank you. I'm writing down my notes here, 5th grade. Marvelous. Oh, moving right to 11.0, Superintendent Kramer.
Absolutely. Oh, yes. So for CSEA, we have President Melissa Cruz. Thank you, Melissa.
Good evening, board, cabinet. Nice to see everybody. Melissa Cruz, CSEA President for Classified Employees. I don't have much of an update which is great, but I wanted to show face so you knew I was still alive and we're doing well. CSEA and Classified are awesome. I do want to say thank you to the district for considering our very hardworking school staff. They are bringing back the $1,000 stipend for classified staff who will be working for the summer school programs. So that is excellent. I appreciate that tremendously. And I know the people working those programs do also. We have different committees coming back together. Kind of happens in the spring when it comes to calendar committees and the benefits committee. So I feel honored and privileged to be at those tables for a voice for our people. Otherwise, I look forward to continued collaboration and growth and hope everyone has a great Easter weekend. Thanks.
Wait 1 second. Can I ask thank you very much for that, before anyone else asks a question. Can I either compliment you or just ask you, the team that you're working with your classified, would you say that there's more people involved and there's more voices at the table and that they feel that they're able to ask and get what they want? Or, I mean, I think I'm trying to give you a pat on the back because I think there's more people coming, but I want to hear it from you.
Yes, since I've been doing this for the last 5.5 years, I do believe people feel they have a stronger voice. That's something that Mandy and I have really tried to do as e-board members to get people involved. That comes with a price as well, obviously. But it also comes with a lot of learning. We are able to learn ourselves and educate others on what comes with the tenacity and wants, and then having an open mind to seeing bigger pictures and how things all come together. So yeah, I do believe that our classified unit is stronger and more comfortable speaking up now. So
that was my compliment to you. Thank you very much. No, you've done a great job, and it is awfully, and it's great to hear, because that's what we do with our students, is we want to hear from our students, and then we make changes, and we want to hear from you, because if you're a happy worker, then you're going to stick around. Our snow removal guys have got to be really happy this year. Like, they have got to be really happy. Okay, I'll go back to 11.2, Superintendent.
And we have Mrs. Erin Lefevers, our president of TTA, with us tonight. Thank you, Erin.
You took a couple of mine already, so I'll scratch those off. It's hard to believe that we're 3/4 of the way through the school year. I know Truckee High's in their midterms. We just keep going with it, so since we're a year long, but it's still grading and test taking time. One of the students mentioned that, and I'm back there grading AP exams because it's coming up. I got 3 AP classes and 2 junior classes, and yay, testing. So happy. We were talking about it today. I was we're talking with a couple other English teachers, and how quickly it seemed like we did this big uphill, and now we're like flying 90 miles an hour downhill towards the end of the school year, which is coming quickly on there. And then as the end of the year approaches, many of our campuses are posting positions and preparing for the next year. We're seeing shifts in teaching staff, teachers changing schools, positions within schools. Along with personnel shifts, all the elementaries and middle schools are preparing for the influx. We've got the TK and K orientations, the new 6th grade orientations. Our Link Crew kids are, like both high schools mentioned, Link Crew nominations are going through, and so we're getting lots of good mentors for our freshmen coming in next year, and as well as the ASB and class officers. Along with that, TTA is having their elections when we get back from spring break, and I don't anticipate much change in my site reps, but Nick Fertitta is stepping down as VP, so we will stay tuned to see who's going to take his spot. He will stay in as our grievance chair, so he's not totally out, but he's in there. And then the meetings for the teacher evaluation calendar and benefits have started, and we are excited to be part of those meetings with everybody in there. And then just wishing everybody a wonderful spring break.
Thank you, Erin. How do you feel about your crew?
They're gearing up. The survey's going out soon for bargaining.
Good.
With everything open in the contract next year.
Perfect. Thank you very much. 12.0, consent agenda. Is there anything from the, we can't make an action right now.
Okay, we'll take a
We're going to
short
take
recess.
just a quick, because we only have 3, we are going to take a quick break, just be, yep. Sorry about that. Start our meeting back at 6:36. Any changes to the consent agenda from?
Not from staff.
Okay, and anything from the board? With that, would there be a motion on the table for the consent agenda?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 14.0, Superintendent of Educational Services.
Yes, and for these items, we are going to turn to our Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, Mrs. Shawn Roderick.
Thank you. Good evening, Superintendent Kramer, President Driller, members of the board, and community. Tonight, I am pleased to present for your consideration a service agreement between Tahoe Truckee Unified School District and Placer Union High School District. In June 2024, T2SD established a strategic partnership with Placer School for Adults to ensure the continued delivery of adult education services. Over the past 2 years, this collaboration has successfully provided our community with high-quality programming, including English as a second language and high school diploma GED completion. By leveraging PSA's specialized expertise, the district has effectively met the diverse educational needs of our adult learners. Building on this success, the proposed agreement establishes a long-term service framework effective July 1, 2026 through June 30, 2036. Under this 10-year term, T2SD will continue to provide necessary facilities, equipment, and technology infrastructure at no cost to Placer Union High School District. In exchange, PUHSD will provide state-credentialed instructors and administrative oversight to manage the regional adult educational curriculum. This maintains a mutually beneficial structure where no instructional fees are charged to T2SD and no rent is charged to PUHSD. The primary objective of this 10-year agreement is to provide long-term continuity and stability for our adult programming. Securing a decade-long commitment allows the district to focus on the sustainable growth of vocational and academic offerings rather than short-term planning. This partnership ensures the community members have a reliable, permanent gateway to personal development, job training, and enhanced career opportunities for years to come. It is the staff's recommendation the Board of Trustees approves this service agreement between Tahoe Truckee Unified School District and Placer Union High School District.
Thank you for that lovely description. Comments from the board? Public comment? Oh, you know, I didn't. I want to say that I am overjoyed with this. 10 years is awesome that it's a long-term as opposed to just, as you said, short-term. And also just in terms of the need for our population and our community, like that's something that we have found that we could benefit by having more educated adults. There's a need for all kinds of things like bus drivers, which I cannot wait for. So with that, I'm going to make a motion to approve 14.1, the services agreement between TTUSD and Placer Union High School District.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 14.2, Superintendent Kramer?
Mrs. Roderick. Thank you. Tonight, I'm introducing a first read for the proposed North Tahoe High School CTE Outdoor Adventure course for the upcoming 2026-2027 academic year. The course textbook, Outdoor Recreation, Enrichment for a Lifetime, provides a comprehensive examination of history, philosophy, and management of outdoor recreation. By engaging with this text, students will cultivate a deep understanding of psychological, social, and economic benefits of leisure activities in natural environments. Students would develop essential skills in environmental stewardship, resource management, and the sustainable delivery of recreational programming. The curriculum enables students to critically evaluate recreation policies and the distinct roles of the public, private, and commercial sectors. This foundational knowledge equips students to design, manage, and advocate for recreation initiatives that promote lifelong community well-being and environmental conservation. This is a first read for information only.
I will say that this is my, that's probably my college class right there. So I'm very happy to hear about this. Any comments from the board?
No, just it's great. I think we talked about this last time too, of having such a unique option too for students to try different pathways. So it's really cool.
I do think that this is, again, we talk about appropriateness in our district, and that's something that recreation, and remember we did this with the schools' cafeterias, or, sorry, when we redid our schools, we did the kitchens, because that was a service industry type thing. And this, tying it in with Palisades, as Superintendent Kramer mentioned, providing educational opportunities within our home is huge, and that will help us, maintain. But we're in a very good spot to have that class. Any other comments from you? That's okay. So that's an info only, and we'll bring that back on consent. And my understanding is there's only one book out here, so if people do want to see it, it's out in the foyer.
Correct. It'll be out there for the next 30 days.
For the next 30 days. 14.3, Superintendent Kramer.
Mrs. Roderick. Thank you. Tonight, I'm introducing a first read for the proposed North Tahoe High School CTE Criminal Law and Justice course for the 26-27 academic year. Criminal Justice in America provides a comprehensive introduction to the structure and function of the U.S. justice system. By engaging in this text, students will develop critical understanding of the core system components, law enforcement, the courts, and the corrections, while evaluating the complex balance between public safety and individual constitutional rights. Students will also strengthen their analytical skills by exploring theories of crime causation, interpreting criminal justice data, and navigating contemporary ethical and policy dilemmas. This curriculum equips students with the civic literacy and critical thinking necessary to make informed, objective evaluations about legal and social justice issues in their communities. This is a first read for information only.
So let me just retract that. We're not using this criminal law thing because it's something that we need in Tahoe quite yet. Retract that. Any comments from the board?
I think it's great because now we're matching what we have at Truckee High too. So I think we've been trying to work really hard to make sure that we have, options in parallel between the two high schools for all students. So I think that's great that it's coming along fast.
Yep, that's perfect. So we'll bring that back as well. And 14.4, Superintendent Kramer.
And for this item, we'll turn to Mrs. Roderick.
Thank you. Tonight, I'm introducing a first read of the proposed textbook, Statistics and Probability with Application, as part of the instructional materials for the 26-27 academic year at Truckee High School. Statistics and Probability of Applications is a non-AP high school text that prioritizes practical statistical thinking over exhaustive computation. By engaging with this curriculum, students will develop essential statistical literacy to critically evaluate real-world data and master a four-step investigative process: formulating questions, collecting data, analyzing results, and interpreting context. Students will gain practical proficiency in applied probability models, statistical technology, and this will be a balance of application-driven approaches to equip students with the foundation data literacy required for college readiness and informed citizenship. This is a first read for information only.
Thank you. Comments?
I just wanted to say, I think this is really nice to have the high schools continue to embrace their missions to become comprehensive high schools, not only college preparatory high school, but also balancing out across all, domains of education. I especially like the outdoor education component, criminal law, justice, and also statistics aren't my favorite, but I'm sure they're really appealing to some people. I think just the creativity is really interesting and notable because as, a high school student, you really want to be locked in at several different levels with what you're learning. So this creates more of a diverse, continues to create more of a diverse sort of options from which to choose from while in high school. So great work.
Thank you.
Great work. Thank you.
Great, so we'll bring that back as well in consent. That brings us to 15.0 Technology, Superintendent Kramer.
And for this item, we'll turn to our Chief Technology Officer, Mr. Ed Hilton.
Thank you, Superintendent Kramer. Good evening, President Dreller, members of the board. I'm here tonight to request your approval for a 3-year contract renewal with CDW Government for our Google Workspace for Education Plus licenses. Tahoe Truckee Unified School District has been a leader in one-to-one student technology since 2012. And for over 14 years, the Google ecosystem has been the backbone of our daily operations. It's much more than just a software suite. It's the primary digital environment where our staff communicates and where our students collaborate on the curriculum each day. The agreement provides 4,800 total licenses, 4,200 of which are for students and 600 for staff. We specifically utilize the Plus edition because it provides advanced security analytics and a full feature set for the classroom. The tools are a critical layer to our digital safety, giving us the ability to monitor our environment in real time and protect student data and staff data in ways that standard versions don't. It also provides our teachers with enhanced instructional tools that they can use in the classroom. The total 3-year commitment is $67,824, which is funded through the general fund. We have structured the payments to include $20,688 in the first year, followed by $23,568 in year 2 and 3. I recommend the board approve the contract with CDW Government LLC. Doing so ensures our students and staff have stable, secure, advanced tools they have been using and that they need to succeed while maintaining our commitment to a safe digital learning environment. Happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any comments or questions for our friend Ed?
No, but I like how you make it sound so seamless. So I think that's awesome.
We've been doing it for a while, so.
There's a lot of licenses.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the continual comment about the reason why we have the plus is because of the safety. You heard it from our students. We want to make sure that we are using what we're getting within the safe parameters. And of course, we have to have that one extra layer. So I will make a motion at this point to approve the 3-year contract with CDW Government LLC for Google Workspace.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. With that brings us to 16.0 board business. Anything that you would like to add? Kirsten Levac.
We went to Donner Trail last week and got a chance to visit the site, meet the staff and students, and see all the wonderful work going on and really engaged learning. And 2 bunny rabbits that are running around up there. Joaquin got kind of a kick out of seeing those. And then I think, Well, I just wanted to also say that I'm getting a lot of positive feedback via the SWEP program and the work that Missy Mueller is doing, because my daughter is now working for SWEP as a newly graduated ecological science major from UC Santa Cruz, and has had the opportunity to visit Kings Beach Elementary and Tahoe Lake Elementary, and I think Truckee Elementary, for all of their science fairs, and has had an absolute blast doing so. So good job, all y'all, in those programs out there. And I think as far as my comments, that's all I have for now. Thank you.
No comments. I've been busy. I'm sorry I missed the Donner Trail tour. That's one of my favorite ones, but I've been so swamped at work, so that's been sort of my focus.
Can only imagine. I wore my hat for you today. I did attend the SWEP Tahoe Lake Elementary School day 1 with one of my ski team coaches, because I put the poster up at ski team, and she's like, Dee Dee, what are you doing? I'm like, come with me. Had a blast, and then I didn't get to spend the evening when Anya was there, but Ashley was very excited about having a returning alumni that's graduated come back to us, and she said she was very excited, so I didn't get a chance to talk to her, but I'm really psyched that she did it. That's awesome. I did not attend the Women in Leadership meeting. I went and skied instead with them. There was a ski part, and then there was also a discussion part. I did laugh, though, because at that morning, we met at 8:30, but then I also had a meeting at 8:30, so I was like, you guys, Women in Leadership just cannot always play. So I was a little delayed in my skiing, but it's interesting seeing what's happening out there with trying to get more women in the sport of skiing, but also more women in leadership. And it was kind of neat to see just some different girls or ladies came out, which it was fun. Drove to, I just got back from Reno with Alder Creek Middle School. Went to UNR and did a tour and had lunch there. And then we went to the
Nevada Art Museum.
Yeah, the Nevada Art Museum, which I've got my pink slip or orange slip to become a member. Just awesome, fun, and it gave there was 17 of us, and the comment that they said, it was just having art be able to tell a story that we couldn't have said, or there was a lot of environmental stuff happening, and that was part of the art, is how do you express something with just art. And so it was kind of cool to hear them. We got to do some art as well, but really, really cool. And it was fun. It was a good trip. And that's it. Looking forward to I'm so psyched about this wolf thing. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. With that, 6:52.